In this day and age, the Father declares, I am the God of your trouble. I have the authority and the sovereignty to deliver you, and the difficulties that are challenging you do not exist apart from those two things. Determine that you will not allow difficulties to manipulate you, or that you will not allow them to dictate how you react to the happenings of the day. For you, I am the place to hide. It is precisely the love that I have for you that is responsible for preserving you to such an extent that your cries of anguish have been transformed into melodies of deliverance. You will not be defined by your financial difficulties. The difficulties you have in business will not compel you to change the course of your life or the choices you will make in the future. It is time to cleanse your heart, since the problems that you face in life originate from within your heart. If there is something in your life that you do not like, then you should modify what is in your heart, for that is where I reside and where I make my permanent abode on the inside of you at this very moment. Today is the day to strengthen your prayer perimeter. Be careful not to invest your faith in the pursuit of religious goals. In order to encourage me to do a miracle in your situation, what price could you possibly pay that would go beyond the work that I did on the cross? Put your faith in the completed effort. Many individuals go about the process of eroding their faith by engaging in a wide variety of religious activities and works, as if doing so is necessary in order to see my hand move. When I enter your circumstance, I look for faith, and I look for faith alone, because when you offer me faith, you are giving me what I need to bring about the change that you are requesting. To believe on him whom I have sent, and at that same moment, the miracle will manifest, and the circumstance will shift from living hell to heaven on earth. This is the work that God has done. Today, I command you to receive the release of my Spirit, declares the Father. There are places that have been closed off that are now opening up so that you might obtain fullness and happiness through my hand. Faith will then begin to build up on the inside of you like an irresistible force as you place an end to human effort and striving. After the mountain of opposition has been eliminated, the tree that has not produced any fruit will eventually dry up from the roots. You are going to witness the blossoming and bringing forth of your desolate lands. The plowman will eventually take over from the reaper as the seed, fruit, and harvest become the natural rhythm in your expanding future, which will be characterized by harmony and growth. There is no longer any need to strive, the Father replies. As soon as you withdraw from your labors and make the decision to enter into the rest that I have supplied, contention and argument will no longer be the dominant forces in your field of view. No more sobbing in the middle of the night. No more a burdened heart or a mind filled with anxiety. I bring you to the peaceful streams and green pastures where everything is fine and your prospects are guaranteed. You are the sheep of my pasture, and I bring you to these places today. I am aware of your requirements, and I am aware of your wishes. It is not necessary to persuade me to take action on your behalf, because the cross of Calvary is my declaration of purpose to compensate for any and all deficiencies that may exist in your life. We are listening to your prayers. Not only am I not angry with you, but I am also not dissatisfied with you. When I breathe my Spirit into your human frailty, I know that you are dust. However, I want you to know that today I breathe my Spirit into your human frailty so that you may stand up and take on my strength and my ability to overcome every obstacle and see you through the current hardship with your destiny intact and your life saved. Neither looking back nor living in the past requires any kind of faith on your part. The act of attempting to rebuild what you have lost is not an act of faith. You are being prevented from experiencing what I have in store for you in life by a vision that is not legitimate. This is a time of transition that I am bringing on you. Because of the little space available, none of the relationships that are associated with your life will be able to move forward. If you sense them drifting away from you, do not put up any resistance. Instead, continue walking in love because love is unfailing. Why would you ever choose to leave someone you love if leaving someone you love is like taking a step into the abyss? Maintain the faith that can move mountains, walk in love, keep your hopes high, and never settle for second best. These are the things that lead to success. Despite the fact that this is a difficult time, it is also a season of stillness, during which you will be able to hear my voice speaking in the pauses that occur between your own thoughts. In that secret location, I will either validate or disregard any suggestions or influences from the outside world, and I will continue to guide you along the route that leads to the fulfillment of your deepest heart's desire and your biggest dream. I am bringing heaven down to earth in your life. The Father says to you these words today. As the Father in heaven, I am bringing heaven into you as the foundational condition of favor and blessing that you walk about in. I am the Father in heaven. My abundant blessing is a seed that has been planted in your life and is now growing into a full-grown plant. Combine the faith that I put in you when you were born into this world with the riches that I have for you. The full extent of my favor is beyond the capacity of the mind to comprehend. I am unable to let go of my power through the use of emotions. I have put faith, and only faith, on the inside of you. It is meant to grasp and engage the fullness of heaven, and it is designed to bring it down to earth so that it can manifest in your life. If you make the decision to bring your religion online today, you will be able to witness the mountains of difficulty being erased and thrown into the sea in a very short amount of time. Nothing is impossible to achieve. All possibilities are on the table, and that table of my goodness is laden with the plenty of my plenty that is made accessible to you today through the supplies of the blood that was shed on the cross. It is time for you to get ready for I am sending you my best. When they look at the things that they see coming onto the planet, there are those people who look at them and howl and lament. Have you given any thought to the possibility of becoming exposed to that way of thinking? They are professionals in catastrophe, difficulties, and trouble, and they are masters of doing things in a negative way. They consider themselves to be the decision makers regarding what will take place in the future, but they have failed to take into account the extent of my love for you and the many things that I have in store for you during this time of year. They have a pessimistic outlook on the future, both for you and for other people, but they never seem to get around to applying the same pessimistic philosophy to their own circumstances. I would advise you to keep your distance from all of these pretentious talkers. I have made you an inheritor of heavenly things even this day, declares the Father. They are the congregation of those who are ignorant because they have chosen to focus on things that are on earth. Currently, the Father is stating that not all things that are spiritual are godly. It is not true that I am the source of every influence that appeals to your Christian sensibilities. By acquiring the ability to judge righteously, you will be able to protect yourself from falling into the traps set by the adversary. The force of human charm and the strength of their personalities are the two things that men use to attract others to follow in their footsteps. The outcome of their actions is never favorable, and those who follow them end up disorganized and without a sense of purpose. In order to prevent you from experiencing this outcome, the Father adds, I will instruct you to pay attention to the still, little voice that originates solely from mine. Always keep in mind that everything spiritual that is not a part of who I am and is a resident within you is completely defunct. Each and every formula or method of spiritual approach that does not include Christ in you, the hope of glory, is a diversion. According to God, I am the way, the truth, and the light that you seek. Make sure that your reliance is always on the person that I am on the inside of you. You should not give in to the voice that tells you, lo, here, or lo, there, for any dependence on the outside world is nothing more than idolatry. As a result of ignoring this one significant Father fact of my indwelling resurrection power, a huge number of petitions that might otherwise be answered are not answered at all. When you keep your eyes on who I am and what I am saying, deep within the acoustics of your inner man, where my voice is always speaking, the glory is in you, and the strength of my throne arises in you. This is because you continually keep your eyes on who I am. Today, the Father tells you that the years of persistent defeat that you have endured are finally coming to an end. Continual triumph and overcoming have suddenly sprung from the arid ground of religious experience that has been dead for some time. You now have access to the boundless resources that my kingdom has to offer. Due to the fact that you have completely given up in your heart the act of putting forth the finger and the vanity of the false words and empty promises of men, angels are coming to your assistance. You have arrived at the brook by the way where the ravens will feed you, and my presence will keep you until the famine is over and your life and the lives of those around you are spared. God says that there is a more profound experience that is coming to you now. You have come to the brook by the way. I am unable to provide you with any formulas, affirms the Father. When it comes to approaching my throne, I do not come with any hidden teachings or multi-layered concepts. I enter now by a new and living way that He has consecrated for me. You say to yourself in your heart, you are aware that your deliverance is at my throne. You are aware that the coals of prayer that are placed at my altar will eventually be answered and fulfilled in a spontaneous manner. It has come to your attention that it is my devotion that paves the road, and it is not the religious sense of man that I find to be impressive in any manner. Without realizing what you are now acknowledging, they cut themselves and give their bodies to be burned. They do this without comprehending that there is one sacrifice that is immaculate and blameless and that fulfills every need, and it is not them. You now find your rest at the altar, where every prayer is granted and change in fullness arrives beyond your highest expectations. This rest is found in Christ and only in Christ. Today, the Father instructs us to touch the hem of my garment at its fullest extent. In order to draw on the wellspring of virtue that is already present inside me and ready to be passed on to you, you must reach out and press in through the people and things that are crowding you out. I am more than a letter, and I am more than a concept that involves spirituality. It is not possible for men's viewpoints to define who I am to you, nor is it possible for religious vocabulary or simple concepts to convey to you the power of resurrection that will bring about the change that you have been pleading for. The wicked are like the furious sea, foaming out the humiliation of their inventions, thoughts, and notions, which they then brand as a necessary reality. They are like the sea. You are invited to return to the quiet waters and the verdant pastures, where I will pour in the oil and the wine of my presence, and you will be completely healed. This is the invitation that I extend to you. Today, take a drink of the completeness of who I am that is contained inside you. Christ is the hope of glory, and in the glory are all things that pertain to life and godliness. Christ is in you. In the glory, all needs are met, and destiny is spontaneously manifest as you embrace the cross, kneel before my throne and say, "Be it even unto me, Lord, as thou hast said." This is the white-hot and consuming fire that destroys all that is flesh and brings you into the rest of God, where the mind relinquishes its pride, the flesh its striving, and finally, things begin to change for you. Certainly, my dearest, this is the moment for you to take a step forward. Ascend to a higher level where the flesh cannot reach, and where men with unclean hands cannot ascend. In the event that you give up your hearts and pour out your life like an offering of drink, I will provide you with the reality that you have been seeking all along. Today, the Father encourages you to accept the completeness of the Christ that I am now present in your life. It is in the all-inclusive Christ that you will discover my way, my truth, and my life that I have selected only for you. Christ is the means by which I offer. Jesus Christ is the truth that I give, and the life that I give is also Christ. In order to bring you to the full expression of everything that I went to the cross to be for you, I do not provide you with convoluted doctrines, techniques, or sophisticated religious rituals. Men who have lost confidence in who I am to them have resorted to the vain jangling of silly things that originate in their own thinking. These are the inventions that men have come up with. I encourage you to rediscover the Christ that resides within you and to return to Him. There is no way for you to enter my kingdom, whether it be by the reading of a book, joining a group, or any other method. There is no book that has died for you. A man cannot point you in the direction of anything that they have not seen, touched, or heard. They are simply going to wear you down with their erroneous expectations and demands, and when they determine that they have no more use for you, they will leave you out of their organization. Yoke easy and burden light are the invitations that I extend to you. The depth, the riches, and access to the source of my glory are now fully unleashed into your life. You are not able to consult with flesh and blood from this day forward. Rather, you are able to confer with the Christ of God, who died on the cross, was raised on the third day, and is dwelling in your heart through faith when you surrender to me. In today's message, the Father emphasizes that this is not the time to give up territory, rather, it is the moment to seize land. When in doubt, it is best to attack. When you display the one instruction I gave regarding the devil, which is to resist, the adversary will falter and retreat like a bully. This is because the adversary is a bully. Position your forces in such a way that they are facing the adversary until he gives in and runs away from the battlefield. You should reach out and shake the opponent by the nape of his neck throughout your prayers and decrees full with faith. This should continue until the enemy releases the prey and leaves. Don't forget this, you should never dance with the devil. You are not more cunning or intelligent than he is, and you are not smarter than he is in your flesh. It is not natural or carnal that you use as a weapon, rather, the sword of my word and the shield of bold faith are the weapons that you use. Always keep in mind that your faith will accomplish for you what I would accomplish for you if I were standing there in front of you. Put your faith in what you believe. You wouldn't be able to. A gift from God, wouldn't you say? You are a member of my army that is advancing, and your contribution will always consist of staking claims to fresh territory for my empire. The situation ought to be in this manner. Under no circumstances should you ever permit yourself to be a contrarian or someone who marks or creates division among individuals. I will never be a party to strife or fleshly disagreement, and when you participate in division, you withdraw yourself from my protection. I will never be a party to either of these things. While you are in the center of your chief buddies, there is a whisperer who comes to divide them. The flatteries and slanders of the whisperer, whose serpent tongue flicks in and out simply waiting for the appropriate time and moment to deceive you with their lies, should only be taken seriously by those individuals who have a higher opinion of themselves than they do of themselves. God advises us to shake ourselves free from the mesmerizing influence of the serpent and to preserve the primary focus on the primary matter. After that, you will have the opportunity to experience what it is like to have godly men and women come alongside you in your faith to help you prevail in the war and be the only ones left standing after all else has failed. Here and now, the Father instructs you to construct your world by means of your faith. I have commanded you to behave in the same manner as I do and to imitate me in whatever you do. It is true that you are a king, just as I am. Considering that I am a priest who follows the order of Melchizedek, it follows that you are a priest who follows not the order of men but rather that eternal order. Now is the time for you to stop thinking like a simple man on this day. Right now is the time to start thinking about the world in a way that is godlike. Not only have I given you the ability to become a religious fanatic, but I have also given you the ability to become sons with the Son, who is not ashamed to call you brother. The adversary with whom you are surrounded is making an effort to divert your attention away from the faith-based facts that I am developing within you. Establish in your mind the intention that you will place your heel on the head of the serpent and place your hand in mine. This will allow you to move forward into the radical faith formation of a new future and a new hope that will be carved out by your words that are full with faith. I have not only framed this world by faith, but I have also given you the power to frame your world through faith through the power of my word within your lips. Pray with your mouth alone. Pray with confidence and with a conviction. If you pray from the depths of your heart rather than from the boundaries of your head or your feelings, you will not be let down. According to God, the word is power. If you have ever been disappointed by something like this in the past, it is because you are constructing your thoughts or feelings on the foundation of those particular items. It was not via my thinking that I created the earth. Although I could have done so, I did not construct the cornerstones of creation in accordance with the feelings that I experienced in my emotions. You are a follower of faith because I am a God of faith, and I have called you to be one. Through the blood of Christ, I have cleared the ground of created potential on the inside of you. This means that whatever comes out of you will not be according to curses, but rather according to the blessing that was ordered in Eden and restored in Christ. To walk in my kingdom is in accordance with this definition. Simply put, this is what it means to stop being a victim and to take a firm stance as a conqueror. This is not the day that you will be defeated, rather, it is the season in which you will constantly prevail through your dependence not upon man but upon me, says the Lord with full assurance. Today, the Father conveys to you that you possess the life of resurrection inside you. A certain amount of faith has been bestowed onto each and every man, but since you have faith, I have bestowed upon you a great deal more. The incomparable essence of my life is what satisfies your inner man. My strength is found inside you, and it is like a cloud of glory that obscures but reveals the completeness of my spirit. There is still a chance for you, and you are not without assistance on this particular day. I am the helper, so you should ask. Come to me in a hurry, for I am the one who brings comfort. I am the teacher, therefore take a seat at my feet and take in what I have to say. In comparison to what the disciples went through when they walked with me 2,000 years ago, this is considerably more. By virtue of the grace that dwells within you, I am present in you, even though they were with me and I was among them. Your heart is where I sit enthroned, and everyone who approaches you is the one who approaches me. Any individual who raises their hand or their voice against you is doing it against me, and I will return them back. Avoid being concerned about the views of other people and instead focus on obtaining the honor that can only come from God. Because that honor is reserved for angels, and not for plain mortals, as the case may be. According to the Father, the angelic hosts are ready and waiting to be called upon. In order to demonstrate that I am powerful, my hand is traveling through the earth. There are voices, a great number of voices, that are calling out to one another and asserting that they originate from me. Have a look at this moment when I separate the priceless from the vile and make it possible for people to hear my assured tone. Those wizards who are muttering and peeping will be silenced by me. I will make a distinction between the sorcerers who mislead my people by substituting human charisma and the power of their personalities for the anointing that can only come from me. The Father explains that mantles are lying dormant in many hearts, and that these mantles will suddenly come to life as the skies answer the earth and the earth answers heaven. According to God, I have provided you with a front row seat as an early adopter and a participant in what will occur in the future. Thus, you should be prepared and listen to my voice. When you hear the rustling of the mulberry trees, you should now know that it is time to proceed with your journey. This day, the Father instructs you to pray with your mouth. A prayer that is full with faith and is spoken out loud is a strong prayer that can move mountains and open the heavens. Please pray for the solution, not the problem. Instead of praying for the process, pray for the outcome. A particular and certain outcome has been promised to you in my word, yet, I retain sovereign authority over the manner in which I choose to answer that request and the means by which I choose to do so. In spite of the fact that Elijah would have preferred to be fed by ravens, he was fed by them anyway. Although it would have been preferable for him to have a starving widow cook him a cake first, he was satisfied with the fact that his stomach was full nevertheless. Recognize deep within your being that the response I provide will challenge you. Be conscious of the fact that the way I operate in your life will irritate your religious sensibilities and cause you to receive some criticism. The manner in which I operate in the lives of those who pray will be offensive to those who do not pray. You are going to be told that you are self-important. They will inquire as to who you believe you are on the inside. They are going to criticize the very means by which I take action in your life, and they are going to speak out against you for carrying out the instructions that I have given you. It is best to let the blind lead the blind, because the ditch is the only destination for them. I will take care of them. They will figure things out on their own in due time. When those who are called by my name pray, not only will they be saved, but also their nation will be saved simultaneously. It is not only you who is seeing what you are seeing or praying what you are praying. You are not the only one doing either of those things. Do not allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself. Refuse to believe the lies and misdirections that are spread by those who believe in conspiracies or who want to instill fear. At all times, you should be aware of the origin of the voice that is giving you instructions. Would you listen to something that instills terror in people? Spirit can be found in words. An entity that has a plan and a purpose for you is hiding behind every phrase that you can hear. Because of your response, that spirit will be nourished. Don't give the pig's spirit of dread anything to eat. The herd mentality, which holds that everyone thinks so and believes so, should be allowed to plunge headfirst into the ocean of their own malicious speculations. Always keep in mind that the path that leads to life is a perilous one. You are going to have to turn a deaf ear to the unspeaking idols that are spewing untruth into the earth as if it were unquestionable facts if you want to emerge from this endeavor in a state of integrity and without any damage. Those around you will not comprehend. It is also possible for others who are close to you to raise their alarm and declare that they are merely attempting to assist you. I adore them. You should express gratitude to them for their concern, and then you should isolate yourself from the widespread anxiety that is sweeping the population. Instead, you should strengthen your connection to me and continue to exult in the redemption that I am bestowing upon you from on high. In today's message, the Father declares, "My kingdom is activated by both voice and motion." Take some time to reflect about the things that you are saying and the actions that you are taking. There is no waiting setting activated in my kingdom. A never-ending cycle of waiting simply results in additional waiting. I want to use this opportunity to tell you that you are holding a rod of authority in your hand and a word of command in your mouth. What exactly are you holding? What are you exclaiming at this very moment? I didn't encourage you to go get something in your hand, but rather I asked you what it is that you are currently able to do. As a result of Moses' comprehension of this, the Israelites were able to cross the dry ground. Within the framework of the Old Covenant, I made a commitment to bless anything the people did with their hands. In the name of the Father, I dare you to put your hand to something, and I will bless whatever you choose to do. After you have stepped forth in a particular direction, I will take the steps of your feet and lead them to the location where you will be blessed. Who is it that you have in your mouth? The Father asks. Is it possible that you are putting things in your mouth and then uttering them out loud that are in direct opposition to what I have said? Could it be that you are merely wishing for things to improve without actually stating that they will? In order to make this absolutely apparent, I will say that any prayer, pronouncement, or edict that does not come out of your mouth verbally is nothing more than wishful thinking. During the process of creating the earth, I did not glance down and wish that things were otherwise. I pronounced the word of command, and from that day forward, Every single thing in creation was obligated to be in accordance with the word of command that I gave Adam permission to walk in. In order to put the word of command into your mouth, you must first speak what I say, and then you must bring your faith to life by taking actions that correspond to it. Not only am I the source of solace, but I am also the instructor. The actions that you are taking are the reason why things are the way that they are. If you are willing to humble yourself and discipline yourself to walk in my ways, do what I do, and say what I say, then you will have the God results that you have been praying for each and every day.